There it is. Cassie came with me to Japan. I have some really exciting news today for rural players who might not have a ton of Pokéstops in their area. Rural imbalance has been a big issue in Pokemon Go since launch, with rural players not having nearly as many spawns, no access to Pokéstops, no access to gyms, at least not anything like we have here in urban or city areas. A redditor named TheFarix confirmed that he was able to get 3 new Pokéstops added to his area in a very rural part of West Virginia. As you may or may not know, before Pokemon Go, Niantic developed a game called Ingress that works on a similar platform. It's an AR game in that you actually have to travel around the real world to play it. In Ingress, there are portals that you have to hack to sort of cover area. It's like a big game of capture the flag or domination, if you played Call of Duty. And all the data for Pokéstops in Pokemon Go came from portal locations in Ingress. Now, most of the portals in Ingress are user submitted. They were submitted by players, and Niantic would review them and either approve or deny them. So they spent quite a few years sort of accumulating this database of points of interest that they now use for Pokemon Go. But obviously when the game launched, there were no user submitted portals yet, so they had what were sort of seed portals that were set at locations that almost every city or town should have. Things like a fire department, a town hall, or libraries, public buildings that are fairly common throughout the world. The photos for portals and Pokéstops are also user submitted. So this redditor, TheFarix, opened Ingress and found that some of those portals, those seed portals in his area, still didn't have photos attached to them. So he went around and submitted photos for all of these portals in Ingress. And that was in August. Now, a couple weeks ago, he received a notification that some of those photos were accepted, 3 of them were accepted, and the rest were rejected. But after they were accepted, he noticed that those 3 that he added photos for became Pokéstops in Pokemon Go as well. If you're not familiar with Ingress, this is what it looks like when you view a portal, and you can see that it has an image. That's the same image that you're going to see on a Pokéstop that's located here at the same portal. Now, if you open Ingress and you find some of these seed portals, you'll notice that there's no photo. Now, I haven't actually seen this for myself, but apparently if you have one of these seed portals with no image, it'll show sort of a static image and it'll give you the option to add a photo. You can actually see it right here, the camera button, but I'm not sure if it's going to look that way on one without a photo to begin with. But when you do that, you essentially just open up your camera, take a picture, and you can submit it to Niantic for review. Here's that same location in Pokemon Go, and you can see it's the same image that was used for the portal in Ingress. Another redditor did comment that he noticed the same thing, that when he added photos to portals in Ingress, they eventually became Pokéstops as well. So if you're a rural player, download Ingress, check it out, see if you can find some of these seed portals in your city, in your area, that don't have images, and try to submit images for them. You can check at government buildings, things that are going to exist in every town, so town hall, fire department, police station, library, things that are common to many places around the world, and see if there's seed portals in your city. Now keep in mind, this wasn't a fast process. TheFarix said he submitted the photos back in August, and just a couple weeks ago noticed that they became Pokéstops. So it is probably going to take a couple of months for these photos to be reviewed and either accepted or rejected. But go out and try it, because so far it really is the only confirmed way that we've heard of people being able to influence new Pokéstops being added. We have heard in the past of Niantic adding new Pokéstops and also removing Pokéstops, but that seems to be done without player influence. It could be due to businesses. Obviously, sponsored Pokéstops have been starting to appear, and some people who probably complained enough had Pokéstops removed from their either businesses, from their home, or from their property. But again, if you're a rural player and you are in dire need of Pokéstops, download Ingress and try it out. I'm in LA today for a quick meeting with a friend. It's all clerical stuff, super boring, so I'm probably just gonna leave you guys right here.
Once upon
Alright, that's it. I didn't even check if there's Pokéstops around here. I'm sure there are. Yeah, there are. Well, there's one in range. And this will be my first after my 7-day. So we do start over at 1 day. I'm sure at least half of you know that already. So in another week's time, I'll be hitting that 7-day bonus. You know what? I'm just going to get out, walk down, and spin a couple more of these because they're so close. And right across the street, the golden crab. Where? Oh, I see it. It's kind of sad actually seeing just 3 items coming from a Pokéstop after that event, and I kind of felt it would be that way. A lot of people really wanted it to stay like that, but obviously it hasn't. This will be my first catch too. Got it. 1 day streak. I really need to get home and start prepping for this trip. One of the things that I need to get in preparation for this trip is a rail pass, since we are going to be taking the train pretty much everywhere in Japan, and it's actually a little more expensive than I was expecting. For a 7-day pass, it's just under $300, but that's unlimited train rides anywhere in Japan. So it's actually a good deal considering how much we're actually going to be traveling around the country, but it is more expensive than I expected. I just ordered it, and it might not get here before I leave. Tomorrow's my last actual day here in the US, and it might not get here until Wednesday, the day of my flight. But I'm leaving super early in the morning, so I got insurance on it. I can change the delivery to the hotel in Tokyo, worst case. There's also other options for a rechargeable pass like Passmo or Suica. So, if you're planning a last-minute trip to Japan, get this taken care of at least 3 days before you leave. We've been waiting so long for this Class 302 to open, and it's finally open.
Unlimited. Why would you not?
No winter melon.
Sucks.
No winter melon. It's like a watered down version of Class 302 for a market where Asians are not the dominant demographic. They're missing all the good stuff.
Yeah.
We got guava green tea.
It's close.
It's not winter melon. This is totally not Japan specific, but I do need a hard drive. Right now, I archive all my footage on a desktop drive. It's a big 4 terabyte drive, but it has to be plugged in. Coming soon. It has to be plugged in, and that's really not convenient for editing on a plane or a train, which I'm sure I'll have to do at some point during this trip. So I do need to get a drive that I can take with me.
What's this?
Just that. Cool. Sharks. Small sharks. Cassie wants to look at dogs. I think it's kind of sad, but we're gonna do it anyway.
What?
There's also a bunch of Pokemon here in the pet store. Grab this Pokéstop that has no image. Maybe add one. Sandshrews. This is. There's no dogs. No dogs. Just Pokemon. There's Sandshrews here. Not the same.
Are they cuddly and soft? No.
No, they're definitely very hard on the exterior. I still think they're cuddly. Right? Sandshrews cute. You can't deny that. Look at these people and tell them Sandshrews not cute. Can't do it. Sandshrews cute.
Sandshrew is cute.
Did you hear that?
Sandshrew is cute.
Nice. There it is.
Here, I'm in Japan right now.
There it is. Cassie came with me to Japan. I also need batteries for the Go Plus. Don't want to be walking around Japan blind. I'm gonna change this battery, but I actually haven't seen that low battery notification appear again since that one day that it showed up. A lot of people are saying it might be a glitch, but I don't know. Better safe than sorry. I'd rather not run out of battery. I mean, obviously I can buy a battery in Japan, but I'd rather just do this now and be done with it. Now, while I do this, I also want to talk about hotels, accommodation. Last night, Reversal, Ben, and I all booked our hotels for the event area, the Tohoku region, obviously, but apparently one of the best places to go for the event is Ishinomaki. So that's where we're heading, and this event is huge. This is like way bigger than I imagined. A ton of people are being attracted. That was actually really quick. So a lot of people are actually heading out to this area for this event. So all the hotels nearby are booked, completely booked. So our hotel is actually over an hour train ride away from Ishinomaki, but that's fine because we're really only using it to sleep, and I'll be editing there also. I'm also considering, after our first day in Ishinomaki, going further north into Iwate Prefecture, because I don't want to spend all of my time in just one area that was affected, but I want to see a little bit more than that. I want to help out more than just one community. And then on the way back, I'm also really considering stopping by the Fukushima power plant, the nuclear plant, and maybe coming back with radiation poisoning. But I would really like to see that, at least maybe fly the drone over it. And speaking of drone, apparently it's really frowned upon to fly the drone in populated areas like Tokyo. That's Ben right there, letting me know where his hotel is in Tokyo. For Tokyo, though, I'm looking at Airbnbs either in the Shinjuku area or Akihabara, because hotels are cool, but I'd also like to get sort of that local feel of what it would be like to live in a place in Tokyo. But again, I'm really only going to be sleeping there and editing there, so it's not that big of a priority. And one other thing that I've been told that I really need is portable Wi-Fi. Essentially, it's a Wi-Fi hotspot with 4G data, and it'll just allow me to have high-speed data throughout the country while I'm there. And they're actually super cheap. You can get them online ahead of time, but you can also get them when you land at the airport. And 400 yen a day, that's less than $4 a day for this, so maybe 20 bucks to have 4G the entire time I'm there. Not a bad deal. So that's really the three main things covered: hotel, transportation, data. Anything beyond that, I'm pretty much just going to figure out when I get there. Also passport, don't forget your passport. There's definitely a lot to see on this trip, and not a lot of time to see it. I'm not sure how this is all going to come together in terms of trying to do and see as much as I can, but also edit and upload a video. I'm fine sacrificing sleep to get the most out of this trip. I've done it before. Anyone have any good Japanese energy drink recommendations? So that's really all the important stuff. That's everything that I feel like I need to prepare ahead of time, and tomorrow I'm going to start packing and get ready to go. Also, a quick update on the GoFundMe situation. After all the fees that GoFundMe and WePay take out, the total that we ended up raising was $17,077.87. So I'm going to bring a good portion of that with me to spend in the area, and the rest of it is going to go towards charities or organizations who are working to rebuild the areas that were affected by the tsunami. I've gotten a ton of suggestions in my email from a lot of people who either know of organizations or actually know people who are working to rebuild the economy or working for organizations. So I'm going to go through those and try to figure out what my best options are. I really want as much of this money to go back into the economy and towards helping out these people, rather than trying to donate to a big charity that has to take half that money to pay its board or whatever. I want as much of this money to go directly to the people. So I'm going to go through all these emails and all these suggestions and figure out what the best option is to help as many people as possible with this money. Now, with all that said, it's date night. I guess this is as good a time as any to break the news. Cassie's not going to be able to come to Japan with me, which is really unfortunate, but it was just too last minute for her to get out of her obligations, so.
It's okay, you're bringing snacks.
Snacks is coming.
Still jealous though.
It's okay. Next trip, we'll figure it out. We'll plan farther ahead, and we'll make it work. Good night.